Greetings fellow conquerors, I'm Chevalier and I bid you welcome to the Institution and Guide of Ethiopia. So Ethiopia is, let's say, one of the better nations in this part of the world, basically in, let's say, East Africa. Yeah, I'll say, let's say East Africa, and let's say that has an influence in the Arabian Peninsula as well. So they have an excellent leader, and they are the best nation to take over this region here. Also, with this new patch here, they're gonna have new religion mechanics for the Coptic religion. All of their guys here are Coptic, so Alodia, Medibari, Kaffa, and Ethiopia are Coptic. So they will be able to get more religion mechanics. I'm gonna talk about them. Actually, I already know the patch and what they would have. They basically have some provinces that for each provinces that is held by a Coptic religion. So if they're Coptic, they are owned by a Coptic nation and Coptic, right? They're gonna give them a slot for a bonus on religion. Basically, the more you own, the better it is. So if you have, for example, Armenia here, which got released and is still Coptic, right? And I released Armenia from Kara, you're gonna gain one more slot, and you have one slot from the start because of one of these lands here that is held by I don't know, Aksum, I think. Yeah, Aksum here. Right, Aksum is a holy city, for example, like just like the holy cities in CK2, basically, if you know them, just like that. But it's better for me to tell you now. Okay, it's gonna go in the new patch. Now, let's go over the cash first, because cash is always important. At the moment, if you actually do this, you are quite impoverished. If you kill some forts as well, let's say you have 2 forts here and 1 here. I do recommend that you kill them both. You won't need them that much, to be honest. So you're gonna destroy the castle here, and you're gonna destroy the castle there. That is gonna allow you to gain some decent amount of cash for some advisors. Again, this is quite well. You'll be able to get just maybe 1 advisor, perhaps. Oh, this fucking chair is killing me. Wait, I will just move in one place and just stay there and freeze. There we go. So you're gonna be able to get perhaps 2-point advisor in some tab, or if you want to save some cash, I guess you might just go for military advisor. It's up to you how you can pull it off, to be honest. We're going to talk about both these more ideas. Now, let's go to the estates. On burghers, there's nothing you can do unless you want to give them some land. At this point, if you go for development, only your capital has over 10 base tax, so you're not going to be able to give them any of your inland nations, inland province. You just perhaps you're going to be able to give them some coastal provinces, for example, Berbera here, or some trade nodes here like Zaila, for example. Again, it's not going to be that much possible. Or Harar, basically, you can give them Harar as well, because it's a inland center of trade, so that is doable as well. Oh, quite a huge trade node, if I say so myself. Now, but quite poor. Now, for burghers, you cannot give them any lands at first, so don't waste your time doing this, because it's gonna be useless. Don't waste prestige. For the clergy, we are 36%, so you're gonna need to support the clergy first. You're gonna go to 46, then you actually need to go for both a minister and an inquisitor, and perhaps give them some lands, so that they'll get up to 75, so you can get more points from demand. Again, with demand, do it when you're close to 60.01 when you come with that sword, so you can actually get more bonuses. Although, if you want to do something, as you can probably see here, where it is, come on man, you can actually boost stability. Although you have low religious unity, you can boost stability to get a +1, because the clergy only gives you stability cost modifier and have over 60 loyalty. So this is quite decent, quite standard, actually, not decent. Here, for calling a diet, you won't be able to, sorry, for the nobility you can only call a diet. Although if you actually take away some of their lands basically from the nobility here to go over to 10%, so what you can take off, you can take out Dartmouth for example, but it's not possible yet, so it's gonna lose by 7.6. So you can go over this limit a little bit because you can actually lower them after some time, after a year, right? Yeah, after a year you can actually redo this, but just remember to redo them when it's possible. You're gonna lose what's called the loyalty of the states, but again, you're gonna get a minister and points as well. But for start, in the general, which is good as well. But for the start, just call a diet and do the same stuff when it goes down to 60.01 or anything of close to that, so you can get more military points. This is all for the estates. It's possible here to recruit a minister, but it's gonna go to 80 instead of calling a diet, so you can get the diplomat there. Yeah, everything is doable here, but you have to reduce some of the power here from the states. And why do you have so much power? Yeah, you're a monarchy and you have control provinces, so you have to take quite a lot of provinces from these guys here, to the point of what, 70% of the base tax. If I do some math here, so you have to remove about let's say 70, let's say 60 development and income that sort. So 60 development, you have 5 here, with another, let's say, which one is the best one to remove? You'd want to remove those that have less value here, so 5 here, let's say, with 6 here, because you have the iron here, you're gonna get more cash. You have cocoa there as well. So yeah, you're gonna remove this and this. That's 6, 12 with 5, 17, so it's gonna go to like 10%, 0.8 or something like that. So close to 10%. You have to remove, let's say, 16 base tax to be sure, right? So 16 base tax to remove to have only 10% here. I'm just gonna lower it by quite a lot. Basically, it's if I remove this is 7.6 for 5 base tax, so it's gonna be another what, 20%, something of that sort, around 20%. Lower here, so you can actually get the generalship or the minister, depending on the event that you have. Now let's stop this rant and let's go to trade. Trade wise, it's quite problematic in my opinion. You are gonna be, let's say, screwed, to be honest. Not in the early game, but in the mid game to the late game, it's gonna be quite problematic. If you go with your conquests like this, you're gonna have to put your entry node here, right? So that sucks quite a lot. If you go with a conquest like this, which I might want to go when I do the Ethiopia campaign soon, you're gonna go to Alexandria. You're not gonna be able to push the trade flow up here, which is gonna suck as well. So depending on how you expand, it's recommended that you only go into the Gulf of Aden, and expanding into this guys here should be secondary. It should be done. Although it's possible for you to do some cheeky stuff, but it's not gonna be possible for long. Although you do not see the Keep of Good Hope, you can actually take control of full of Zanzibar basically. Just take control of Zanzibar. I take control of the Zanzibar node here and just push some stuff from here and just collect here, because this is nobody's gonna have any power in here, and nobody's gonna push a trade back, because you're gonna have all of the provinces. You can actually push some trades from the Great Lakes and from Zambezi as well, so that's gonna be good, and from Congo as well you can actually push some trade. Although from Zambezi and Great Lakes is gonna push automatically, and from Congo you're gonna have to push manually and collect the merchant here. So it's really gonna suck, but you can actually form a secondary trade node here only for yourself, which is gonna be quite well. Later in the game, probably Alexandria is gonna be your only node. Depending on you remove Alexandria, then perhaps Genoa is gonna be quite a while in the game. You're probably gonna stay on Alexandria for the early and mid game. No, I'll say the mid game. You're gonna stay in Alexandria. And Alexandria has a well, it's all pushed. So again, if you push some stuff from here, you're gonna have a decent amount of trade power in Alexandria. But yeah, Alexandria then push from Aleppo to Alexandria. Basra is gonna push automatic. You're gonna have to push from Basra. It's quite hard. That I say is quite difficult. It's quite hard to push trade in this part of the world simply because it's so many ways to push the trade through, and you're gonna need tons of merchants, which you don't have as Ethiopia. Now, let's go over to government. You are an empire, which is quite good. You have a despotic monarchy government, so again, quite well. The nationalist is quite good. Now, on to the good part. Your leader is a 655, 31 years old, excellent leader, I would say. Though you're gonna have it for, let's say, 20 years. Again, it's better than anything else, I say. Only the Ottomans have a better leader, which is 12 years old. God damn it, fuck you. God damn, a 12-year-old who has the stats. I wish you're my son, mate. And this guy in Korea, though, is a 655, but he's 47, so the Korean one should die really fast. And there are some good guys here as well, and in Cusco as well, so 546. But again, the leader is quite decent, and it's gonna allow you to take up really fast, which is gonna be quite good for you, especially because you'll want to conquer some of this stuff earlier on. Now, advisor-wise, you can perhaps have 2 advisors, I would say. Nothing more than 2 advisors if you actually want to go, for example, for the one of those guys that you get. So I would recommend the missionary strength, simply because you have some parts that are not part of your religion, and you're going to have to convert them, and they're Sunni and they're going to be hard to convert, so having a missionary strength guide is needed, unfortunately. So you're going to actually waste your cash on that one. Other than this, I recommend getting a military one as well. The discipline one is the okay one, right? So that will allow you to have more points. As for military focus, for point focus, I'll talk about that and the ideas, and well, it depends on your ideas basically. If you want to go for military idea first, focus military. If you want to go for other type of ideas, like for example a first admin or a first diplo, just focus admin. Pretty standard stuff. I would lean to getting admin first, because it's gonna allow you to have better control over have more points to spend on coring stuff. This is all for advisors. Let's talk about diplomacy. Diplomacy here is difficult. As you can see in my situation right now, I have 4 rivals, so for enemies it's quite bad for me, but depending on the restart, you might actually have less enemies. Earlier on, I think that you should probably get an alliance with somebody that doesn't hate you, and rival the guys that don't. I mean, it's quite simple basically, and just expanding to the guys that hate you, and when you grow big, it's not gonna matter anymore. But as for your initial rivals, a good rival will be this guy here, Adal. So you can actually take this trade node here, so you're gonna have more cash in this trade node, so you're gonna improve your trade flow, let's say with about 10%, I guess. You're gonna get 10% more trade power, so it's gonna give you, I don't know, a little bit more cash than usual, which is quite well. Now, other than this, there's nothing much to say. Kaffa here should be vassalized. I really don't know here. Mission wise, you don't get any missions on Kaffa as well, so again, just slowly make claims, take. I mean, it's quite well. He has gold here, so it's again quite decent. But yeah, there's nothing much to say here. Just go with standard stuff. Who rivals you, rival them and attack them without all being a priority, simply because you want to get their lands. Later on, an alliance with Kara to fight out the Mamelukes, or wait until the Mamelukes are at war with the Ottomans so you can actually squash them, is gonna be needed, but this is quite a while into the game. Also, fighting off the Mamelukes can be done with an alliance, but we'll talk with a coalition. I'll say not an alliance, with a coalition of same enemies basically. Now, this is all for diplomacy. We talked about economy, trade. Let's talk about technology. Technology is East African is not gonna matter that much, I'll be honest. Simply because, well, the new patch is coming up and you're gonna have institutions, and you'll have to actually check those patches to see how the institutions fares on those patches. But it's actually you're gonna have no modifiers here basically, right? So it's gonna be 100% cost for the technology, and the more time passes, the more gonna be below because you don't have the right institution basically. So you won't have the Renaissance that is gonna trigger really soon in Europe, and it's gonna increase the cost basically, right? So when the Renaissance happens, automatically your cost is gonna be increased, or some techs are gonna have a higher increasing cost. I'm not sure, to be honest. I haven't the patch isn't up yet basically. I'm doing this on Monday, and the patch is going live on on Tuesday. I'll see if I can do a patch analysis, and then maybe if I have time, play the campaign, the Prussian campaign and the Ethiopian campaign. But it depends on how much overtime I have to do at work, so it's gonna be quite difficult. But yeah, technology-wise, taking text is quite simple. So basically, make use of the modifiers for admin tech and for diplo tech. Save diplo points for your first idea if you want to go for a first idea diplo points. Military technology, go take the military technology when you want to go to war. Otherwise, use the modifier here for -5% or 10% if at all possible. Also, if you feel threatened, try to raise up your military tech as soon as possible, so that you're gonna decrease the chance of you being attacked by your enemies. And that is all for technology. Quite simple. Now let's go for ideas. The idea of the Europeans are national manpower modifier plus 20%, land attrition minus 10%. Manpower is good, attrition is not that great, with the max having illegitimacy, which is quite useless in my opinion. So that's not good. For the first idea is eerie prestige, again crap. The chance of new air is really shit. For defense, crap. Diplo reputation, decent. Stability cost modifier, missionary strength. Missionary strength is good, stability cost modifier is bad. Not that great. Core creation cost, good. And discipline, good. Overall, the ideas are kind of bad. The last three ideas, the last four ideas and the manpower are decent. The first three are shit, so don't expect getting an advantage in the early game from your national ideas, from your Ethiopian ideas. Now let's go to the national ideas. This is not problematic, but again, it requires you to have a little bit more experience. Standard stuff would tell you to go influenced admin, so that you can actually be, because you're a landlocked nation, and expanding into the new world is in getting exploration is not that necessary here, because it's not that good. If I go for TI, I think you already see the Europeans, right? So no, oh, that's a really small area that you can see. But yeah, once you move into Alexandria, you're gonna actually automatically see the rest of those guys, so that shouldn't be a problem. At the same time, you can buy maps of somebody else, like Mutapo or somebody from this side here. So it's not that important to have exploration ideas. So standard stuff calls for influence and admin, basically. Just influence and admin. Influence, admin, and religious. Sorry, religious for the CB. Against these guys, there are only 4 nations who have Coptic at the game, and all of them are neighboring you. So once you kill those guys, the religious ideas are gonna be really good for you. So my recommendation, I would say, would be to the point of getting 1 point in religious, followed by influenced and admin, and go for vassalization, basically. I know this is not the standard way to pull it off, but you're gonna have those volts to be, and you're gonna be able to declare war on these guys and really expand into this side quite quickly, simply because you're gonna be able to take lands in the slide basically. Just take all the way to here, and you won't have to wait to fabricate claim, right? Of course, if you don't want to spend Diplo points. I mean, this is the sort of stuff. Although, again, Comic Influence first is also available. Although your leader has 6 points in admin, so you're gonna go through the ideas really fast. Also, at the start of the game, you're not gonna be able to expand that much simply because you have a bigger army, but it's not that big to fight off 2 guys at the same time. At least 2 guys. You can fight just 1 guy basically. You can overpower this guy, you can overpower this guy. Let's go with this. But you're not going to be able to overpower both of them. You're going to be equal with them, and it's going to be a little bit difficult to fight them off. Right, so followed by that idea should be, I would say, I really don't know here. No, doesn't matter here. You can probably switch over here with some, yeah, with just some CP on them. With those wolves. No, you don't have a CP. We'll talk about expanding here in the late part of the game, but at some point exploration idea is gonna serve you as well, but as a 5th, perhaps a 4th or a 5th idea. Yeah, perhaps a 4th or a 5th idea expansion, so you can actually unite these lands and move over to this side. But again, it's not that important, to be honest. Just go for land combat, and perhaps some of these guys are gonna take exploration ideas and conquer some land here and unite these lands. Again, quite simple stuff. You can move through here. Yeah, it's quite impossible to move through here. Unfortunate, but I guess it's the reality that we face now. So, first religious if you want to risk it, if not, go for first influence. As I said before, your Ethiopian ideas do not help you, so getting fast influence is not gonna be that great. So, we'll go for those Volt, then influence, then admin. Go for 2 points in admin, then complete the religious ideas. Again, you're gonna have a focus for admin ideas for quite a while. After that, go for military idea or yeah, military idea. Anything else will not serve you well. Diplomatic will serve you well, or trade if you have problems. But again, it's better to have a better military than simply having what's it called? Let's say more cash or faster annexation or more diplomats. You already have 2 diplomats, so you're not gonna need a fort that much. Now, as for the military idea that you take, I recommend going offensive. It's simply gonna give you a bunch of everything, and it's good for medium level countries. Yeah, that is it for the early and mid game basically for ideas. After this is just basically another military idea or some exploration, perhaps expansion. Again, there are plenty of options that you can actually take, so do not despair. Now, for missions and decisions, they don't have any. They have events regarding some stuff here, some flavor events, nothing that important that I would say. Some modifiers for tech, they're probably gonna be changed when the expansion comes out, so there's no reason for me to talk about them, but some flavor events exist. As for missions, I haven't seen any of them on the wiki. I haven't checked the files as always because they usually don't have any files, so yeah, nothing really important or major that the Ethiopians can use on the missions and decisions tab, so it's actually just standard stuff here. Stability and expansion, pretty standard stuff, although you have some problems with rebels at the start, as you can see here, although they're not that important, as you can see, quite a while. It is simply due to the lower religious unity. That's why I recommend it for you to take this guy, so you can actually convert faster. But yeah, boost ability when you can, when you need to. Go to +1 and try to use as many modifiers as possible. Reduce your exhaustion when you can. For this, I recommend going for native coexistence policy, simply because if you actually go for expansion, you won't need to expand that much. You just need to make sure that you can actually claim core stuff on this side here, so it's not that important. But yeah, this is it for the goddamn fucking phones. This is it for the stability and expansion for religion. You have problems with oh Jewish really. You're gonna have problems with religious unity at the start, and it's gonna be a while until you can take it down. That's why to some degree you're going to go for these ideas, simply because you're gonna be hard pressed to take this this down. As you can see here, it's Sunni. It's Sunni development. It's quite slow, but it's gonna quite low, but it's gonna take you what 6 years, or no 5 years to actually convert it, which is quite huge to be honest. So yeah, again, quite hard to pull it off. It is one of the difficulties with this campaign. Religious unity is quite a difficulty for you, and lowering it is gonna be quite problematic as well. Military wise, oh yeah, Coptic gives you transfer through fate and for defense. This is quite useless, but transfer through fate is useful. Although I would rather have something else. Oh, when you have local mission extra -2%. Oh yeah, you're fucked. Oh no, it's -2%. My bad. It's -2%, not +2%. So you're a mix between Sunni and Catholic, basically. Military wise, you have a force limit of 15. And at this point in time you have, what do you have here? Really? Doesn't really seem, what the fuck, let's look through here. You have 8 and 3 with a limit of 16, or limit of 15, so 10 and 5. So build, come on mate. That's annoying. Build 2 more cav and 2 more infantry, and it's gonna allow you to have the perfect combination. Also, it's going that you actually make your air into a general, so go for an air general. So you have an available leader. Again, try to have siege value, simply because these guys have 1 fort, 1 fort. These guys have 2 forts, but again, they're close to one another, so you can actually just squash their army, stay to the fort, squash them again, then carpet siege. These guys are problematic, but you can actually bypass it from this side here and go like this and take all of this land. So again, if you have siege values, this is gonna go a lot faster. With this force here, you can actually keep keep the fort here, but it's better for you to go for to play fast and loose with the forts, simply because they're not that useful. They're just gonna cost you cash, and it's better for you to have a mobile, more armies, and just be on the offensive rather than being on the defensive. You have no subjects, and we already talked about the states, and you have no available ships here, no available coastal provinces. Now, this is it for the initial situation. In the next episode, in the next part, it's gonna be about the expansion and how you should expand. It's gonna be quite not easy to expand, a little bit difficult to start, but once you blob out, this guy should be easily squashed. But this is for our talk for the next episode. I'm Chevalier. I hope you enjoyed this, guys. If you enjoyed this, like or subscribe the video, it'll help me out. If you want to watch more of this stuff, there's a playlist on the description, so you can actually watch more initial situation and guides. Again, I'm Chevalier, and I'll be with you all, guys. Ciao.